Kayla's thighs were on fire, not the feel the burn kind, more like this was a mistake kind. Her breath came in short huffs as she pushed through the incline, boots squelching in the damp soil. The trail was steeper than she remembered from the hiking blog, or maybe she was just more out of shape than she wanted to admit. "Brilliant idea, Kayla," she muttered to herself, swatting at a branch. "Get back in shape. Clear your head. Reconnect with nature. Great plan." She hadn't been hiking in over a year. Life had gotten in the way. Work, breakup, Netflix, rinse and repeat. But this morning, she woke up, laced her boots with false confidence, grabbed her water bottle and trail mix, and told herself, no more excuses. Only now the sun had dipped low, the trees were casting long shadows, and she was lost. No trail markers, no familiar rocks or logs, just forest. Thick, endless, echoing forest. She pulled out her phone, one bar, then none. Of course. She shoved it back into her jacket. No signal, no food left, and my legs feel like spaghetti. The temperature was dropping. Fog was starting to curl at the roots of the trees. She wrapped her arms around herself and kept walking, though she wasn't sure if she was going in circles. Then, a sharp cry, high-pitched, frantic. Splashes followed it. She froze. It wasn't a bird or a fox. It was something crying. More splashing, rhythmic, thrashing, like something was struggling, drowning. Kayla turned towards the sound, stumbling through underbrush until the trees opened into a narrow clearing. A river snaked through it. Cold, dark, fast. Mist hung low over the surface. Something was in the water. She squinted. At first, she thought it was a large rat, but then it yelped again, and she saw it clearly. Small, soaked, black-furred, with large ears flattened against its head. A pup. Maybe a husky or... No, not quite. It didn't look right. Its body was longer, thinner, more wiry. It was caught in the current, trying desperately to paddle toward the bank, but each time it got close, the river dragged it back. Kayla didn't think. She dropped her bag, kicked off her boots, and waded in. The cold hit like knives. Her breath left her chest in a gasp. The rocks beneath her feet were slick, treacherous. "Come on," she whispered, teeth chattering, reaching forward. "Come on." The pup's golden eyes locked onto hers, wild and intelligent. Then the current caught it again and spun it. Its head went under. "No!" she shouted, lunging deeper. She caught it by the scruff, just as it sank beneath the surface again. Its small frame was heavier than expected, waterlogged, shivering violently. Kayla stumbled backward, clutching the creature to her chest, fighting the weight of the water pulling at her legs. She hit the riverbank hard, elbows scraping against stone, mud smearing up her sleeves. The pup coughed. Yes, coughed, like a child gasping air after being underwater. Its tiny limbs clung to her jacket. Kayla rolled onto her back, heart hammering. Above her, the full moon pushed through the clouds like an unblinking eye. She looked down at the trembling animal. Its golden eyes were still on hers, not scared, not grateful, just watching. And for the first time, Kayla felt something ripple through her. Not warmth, not relief, a shiver of wrongness. Something in her bones told her she hadn't saved a pup. She'd been chosen. The sky was bleeding into colour. Pale gold at the horizon, a brush of rose where the forest thinned. Morning light broke through the trees like a gentle hand pulling back a curtain, and the cold shadows of the night retreated with it. Kayla blinked against the glow. She was sitting on a mossy rock near the riverbank, the small pup curled into her lap, wrapped in the inner lining of her hiking jacket. Its fur had dried overnight, puffing slightly, though it still looked underfed, ribs faintly visible beneath its scruff. Oddly, it seemed smaller now, not dramatically, just like it had shrunk a little as it slept. Kayla brushed her fingers down its back. It was warm, breathing steady. She exhaled, only just realizing how tense she'd been all night. Her limbs ached from the cold, but her heart had quieted. "You scared the hell out of me," she whispered. The pup's ear twitched, but it didn't wake. She gently pulled the jacket tighter and stood. The pup nestled against her chest. As she walked, the morning sun continued to rise, lifting the fog and revealing clearer paths. Trees she thought she'd never seen before now looked familiar. A fallen log, a broken trail sign, and then, like the forest had simply decided to forgive her, she found the marked path. Home was only a 40-minute walk away. Back at her cabin, Kayla laid the pup on a pile of towels near the heater and wrapped herself in a blanket, fingers still stiff from the cold. She let her phone charge just enough to make a call. "Greenridge Veterinary Clinic, how can we help?" "Hi. Yes," Kayla said, clearing her throat. I found a pup in the woods last night. He nearly drowned." "Oh no? Is he okay?" Kayla looked over at the small ball of dark fur. "Yeah, breathing fine. Drank some water. Looks like he's had a rough time. Maybe lost. Or dumped." "I'm sorry to hear that. We're fully booked until next week, but we could fit you in 2 days from now if everything seems stable." "That should be fine," Kayla said. "He's a little scrawny, but he seems okay. Just keep him warm, give him water. If anything changes, call us immediately." Kayla hung up and knelt by the towel pile. The pup opened his eyes and looked at her. Still those strange golden irises, deeper than any dog should have. But this time, he gave a small wag of his tail. "You're feeling better, huh?" He stood, wobbled, then ran full speed, straight into her foot, bounced off, then spun and did it again. Kayla laughed. Okay, you little maniac." He yipped playfully and dashed around her small living room, bumping into furniture like a drunk shadow. Watching him now, tail wagging, tongue lolling, she smiled. Maybe this was why she got lost. Not punishment, but purpose. "Maybe it was fate," she said aloud. The pup stopped, just for a second, head cocked, staring at her. Then it ran again. Kayla didn't notice how the light dimmed a little, just for a moment, as the pup's shadow moved along the wall, ever so slightly, out of sync. The wind changed when the sun went down. Kayla felt it first. That strange shift in the air, like something exhaling from the forest. The trees outside no longer swayed playfully. They creaked with unease. She shut the windows early and drew the curtains tight, though she couldn't say why. Just a feeling. The pup had been different all afternoon. He barely ate. He didn't play. Instead, he paced, back and forth near the door, sniffing, ears twitching. Every time she turned away, he'd stop. But when she watched him closely, she could see it. He wasn't walking like a normal pup. His spine had straightened, his back legs longer now, somehow. Or was that her imagination? Once, just briefly, she swore she saw him rear up, balance on 2 legs, and take a slow, unnatural step before dropping back down. "What are you doing, little dude?" she whispered, heart tapping a strange rhythm. The pup froze, turned, looked at her. Those golden eyes again, but darker now, smouldering, older. Then he dropped his head and went back to pacing. It was around midnight when she heard the first sound outside. A twig snapped clean, too close to the cabin. She paused the movie she wasn't watching, grabbed a torch, and crept toward the window. Slowly, carefully, she peeled the curtain back just an inch. The beam of moonlight caught something. Eyes. 2 of them. Not glowing like an animal's, but reflective. Watching. Level with the window. Tall. Her breath caught in her throat. The pup growled. Low. Deep. Not the yappy bark from before. It was something primal. Protective. Dangerous. She turned back to the window. The eyes were gone. She checked every door, every window. Locked, bolted. She told herself it was probably a deer, or a raccoon, or... Scritch. The soft sound of claws against wood. She spun around. The pup was by the back door now. Stiff, tail lowered, ears flat. She took a slow step toward him and froze. The pup turned to look at her, but he was taller now. Not by much, but the difference was there. His shoulders broader, chest rising and falling with slow, measured breaths. He stood on his hind legs again. 2 steps, upright, just like before. Only now, he didn't fall back down. He simply stopped, standing, looking. Kayla blinked, heart thundering. "What are you doing?" The pup tilted its head and then dropped back down. She didn't sleep. The cabin felt too small, the air too still. Every creak of the walls felt like something shifting outside. Every whisper of wind, a voice she couldn't hear clearly. And once, only once, she thought she heard breathing outside her bedroom window. Slow, measured, waiting. She lay under her blankets, staring at the ceiling, one hand gripping the flashlight beside her. The pup curled beside her bed, tail twitching, but even in sleep, it faced the window.
For those who connect with the words of Professor Shadow, for those the stories touch, deeper. The Vault holds more: full audiobooks, secret lore, the Becoming the Professor course, the Eldritch Codex. New tales added weekly, only for those ready to go deeper. Click the join button below and unlock the Vault.
Morning light spilled across the cabin floor, golden and gentle, as if the night hadn't just wrapped Kayla in fear. She sat on the edge of the couch, watching the pup sleep beside the fireplace. Again, he seemed smaller, softer, curled in a way that looked impossibly innocent, almost too much so. She rubbed her eyes and sighed. The cabin was tucked deep in the mountains, 3 hours from the nearest town. No signal, no internet. Just an old wood stove, a creaky bed, and a cracked leather chair that had seen better years. She'd rented the place for 4 days, a solo retreat, a chance to reset. Except there hadn't been much relaxing. She knelt beside the pup, tucking a throw blanket around him. "Well, I think we're calling this one early, huh?" she whispered. "We'll head home tomorrow, get you to the vet, maybe figure out what exactly you are." She poured a cup of weak coffee and sat outside on the cabin's tiny porch. The forest looked beautiful in the daylight, peaceful. Birds returned. The breeze was soft, but no one was around. No hikers, no cars, just isolation. She looked down at the pup, now nosing the corner of her boot. "Not much of a retreat, is it?" she said. "I guess I needed it. Needed to get out of my own head." The pup tilted its head. Kayla smiled. "Not sure you understand a damn word I'm saying, but you're a good listener." She took a slow breath. "I came here to feel sorry for myself. After the breakup, after quitting my job, after just giving up, I thought maybe I'd cry into some wine and magically find myself. She looked at the mountains, the way the sunlight cut through the trees. But I think I was being silly. Life's not something you find by hiding from it. Her voice softened. You are not your past. You're not the scars, the mistakes, or the things that broke you. You're the thing that survived them. The fire that burned under it all. The spark that made it through. The pup nosed her hand. She ruffled his ears. One more night, little fella, then we head back. As dusk rolled in, the warmth left the air. Shadows stretched long over the clearing, and that uneasy silence returned. Kayla set another log on the fire and glanced outside. Branches rustled. She sighed. Here we go again. Then, crack. The front door slammed open, splintering off its hinges. Kayla jumped back, heart hammering. Two men stood in the doorway, ragged clothes, dirty skin, one with a bloodied shirt, the other with a homemade tattoo scorched up his neck. Well, well, the taller one said, grinning with yellowed teeth. Didn't think anyone was up here? His friend laughed, low and hoarse. Out this far? Thought this place was empty. Kayla bolted for the hallway. The tattooed man grabbed her arm, hard. Where you going, sweetheart? Then came the growl, deep, guttural, from behind them. The pup stood in the center of the room, fur raised, teeth bared. Tattoo Neck chuckled. What's this? Your little ankle biter. He raised a boot and kicked the pup hard. It skidded across the floor with a yelp. No! Kayla screamed, breaking free and diving toward the pup. She gathered it up in her arms, shielding it with her body. Don't you touch him! The men watched her amused. I remember this shack, the tall one said, cracking his knuckles. Stayed here a few years back. Real private. No one's gonna come looking. His gaze dropped to Kayla, and looks like it comes with perks now. They laughed. The pup whimpered softly in her arms, but as Kayla looked down, something changed. His eyes. They weren't afraid. They burned. Don't, she whispered. They'll hurt you. The men rifled through her food, tore open her backpack, knocked over a lamp. Kayla sat frozen near the fireplace, the pup tucked under her arms like a secret weapon she didn't understand. Tattoo Neck leaned against the counter, smirking. Unlucky for you and your mutt, but lucky for us. Ain't seen a pretty woman in a long time. The other laughed, low and expectant. The pup growled. This time it wasn't cute. It was deep, wrong, ancient. Tattoo Neck pointed at it. What's he gonna do, huh? Chase our ankles. The pup stood. On two legs. The laughter exploded in the cabin. Oh, damn, the tall one howled. Is that a goddamn show dog? But then, another growl. It came at the same time. Not from the pup. Not from the cabin. But outside. Low, deep, primal. Like something had answered. And it was close. The hell is that? One of the men whispered. The broken door creaked again. Then silence. A shadow, darker than night, stepped across the threshold. It was massive, close to 7 feet tall, hunched but still towering, coated in black fur so dark it drank the light around it, thick, sinewed limbs, long ears pinned back, a mouth lined with impossibly long fangs, lips curled in silent fury, and his eyes, burning gold, alight with ancient rage. It wasn't just a werewolf. It was something older, deeper, as if the forest had grown it from pain and midnight. It stepped into the cabin as if it owned the space, as if it always had. The two men screamed. Not like criminals, but like children, their bravado stripped to nothing. Another shape followed, a second creature, equally terrifying. They moved like shadows pretending to be flesh, their edges blurred, as if the darkness itself cloaked them. They were there, but not. Real, and not. Like dreams on the verge of becoming nightmares. One of the men turned and bolted toward the shattered door. The first creature moved faster than thought. It reached out with one massive hand, gripped the man's head, and lifted him clean off the floor. Effortless, like picking up a doll. No words, no cruelty, just authority. It handed the man to the second creature, who passed him out the door, into the waiting blackness. There were more outside, shifting, watching. The second man screamed and backed into a corner, shaking. The first creature stepped forward again, calm, inevitable. It reached down, snatched the man by the chest like he weighed nothing, and passed him too, gently, into the shadows beyond. And then it turned. Its gaze locked on Kayla. She went to move, to shield the little pup. But he wasn't a pup anymore. He was standing on two legs, smaller than the others, but cloaked in the same aura of shadow, the same fluid motion, the same truth. He walked toward the towering creature, and the giant looked down at Kayla. He didn't speak, but she heard it inside her mind, a voice not made of sound, but of instinct. Old, deep.
Thank you.
They turned, not like beasts, not with a sprint or snarl. They left like mist pulling away from glass, like shadows slipping with the light. Gone. Kayla stood at the doorway, staring into the trees. They had moved slowly, but faster than thought. They were creatures of instinct, not violence. Primal, but beyond it. She stood there as the stars faded and the sun began to rise. Still, silent, watching. When the light broke the horizon, she finally turned. She didn't pack. She didn't look back. She walked the long path down the mountain trail toward her car. Her boots crunched softly in the leaves. She opened the door, slid into the seat, and turned the ignition. The engine hummed, steady and real. She caught her reflection in the rearview mirror. Hair a mess, face pale, eyes wide, but something new in them. Not fear, fire. And she whispered to herself, "I am the fire, the force. I am not burned out yet. I do not have to be what others want. I can never be what they expect, because they don't even know what that is. I am me. I can never be anything else. Just like my friend. He could never have been anything else. Today, I will be me." She shifted into gear and drove into the rising sun.